My dear friends, listen closely. There are moments in life when what we see with our eyes and what we perceive with our spirit are vastly different. We live in a world where darkness rarely announces itself with a roar. Instead, it often whispers, camouflaged in beauty, elegance, and captivating charm. Have you ever considered that the very items you choose to adorn yourself with, perhaps a sparkling necklace or a sentimental ring, could be subtly shaping your spiritual journey, drawing you towards something unintended? This is not merely a caution, it's a vital call for deep spiritual discernment, an urgent invitation to open your inner vision and truly see what is around you. In these crucial times, it's imperative that we, as seekers of truth, understand that our world is saturated with hidden allegiances, and as people guided by a higher purpose, we are not simply tasked with avoiding what is clearly harmful, but with recognizing and illuminating even the most subtle deceptions. Let me be absolutely clear, this isn't about rigid rules or a superficial fear of aesthetics. This is about profound spiritual clarity, an understanding that goes beyond the surface. The ancient texts tell us a powerful truth. Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. Think about that. Light, beauty, and attractiveness are often chosen masks. This masquerade is unfolding all around us, frequently found in the gleam of a cherished necklace or the intricate curve of a designer ring. In this journey we are about to undertake, I invite you to walk with me, not just with your ears open, but with your heart and spirit attuned. We will explore 5 prominent jewelry brands that, on the surface, present themselves as fashionable, inspirational, or empowering. Yet beneath their polished exteriors lies a deeper narrative, an agenda that subtly challenges our faith, our sacred commitments, and the very essence of our spiritual identity. You and I must cultivate an unwavering vigilance, diligently examining every spirit, every symbol, every message that we wear, sometimes unknowingly, upon our bodies. So let us begin this important exploration. I urge you to listen with a readiness to understand, allowing your inner guide to illuminate the path. For what we are discussing is far more than mere fashion. It is spiritual awakening. Alex and Ani. At first glance, the brand Alex and Ani seems to radiate positivity, love, and hope, often featuring bracelets inscribed with comforting words like faith, guardian angel, and energy. But pause and reflect, for this is where a subtle illusion begins to take hold. This brand has meticulously crafted its identity around New Age mysticism, a complex mixture that weaves together concepts of energy healing, astrological influences, and a perspective of spiritual relativism where all beliefs are considered equally valid. The brand's founder has openly shared insights into using jewelry infused with energy derived from chakras, vibrations, and even practices aligned with divine feminine worship. The spiritual peril here is in its carefully blended approach. Christian symbols are often merged with occult ones, subtly redefining sacred words and symbols with different, often unholy meanings. A cross, for example, is no longer solely about Christ's sacrifice and redemption. It transforms into a symbol of personal energy. Angels cease to be messengers of the Most High, instead becoming generalized spiritual guides. My dear friend, this isn't just a marketing strategy. It is a profound example of syncretism, precisely what spiritual traditions have long warned against. When you wear a bracelet that merges a cross with a chakra wheel, for instance, you are not simply expressing personal style. You are, perhaps unknowingly, intermingling light with something far darker. As a profound thinker once cautioned, the safest road to hell is the gradual one, the gentle slope, soft underfoot, without sudden turnings. Alex and Ani, with its comforting words and familiar feeling symbols, represents just such a gentle slope. While the messages might resonate on the surface, the underlying spirit is not of a pure, singular divine source. If we truly acknowledge that spiritual realities exist, then we must also recognize that even an object as seemingly innocuous as jewelry can serve as a spiritual conduit, channeling either divine truth or subtle deception. Therefore, I implore you, Deeply examine what you choose to wear. Invite your inner guidance to reveal the true source and meaning. Do not be easily swayed by terms like light, energy, or the universe, for the radiant light of a singular divine truth is not the same as the diffuse light of New Age philosophies. One truly saves, the other subtly seduces. Pandora. Pandora's jewelry line is incredibly popular, with its charm bracelets allowing individuals to tell their unique stories, one tiny personal charm at a time. It seems utterly harmless, perhaps even charming. But let us take a moment to consider. Names themselves carry profound weight, and origins truly matter. The name Pandora hails from ancient Greek mythology, referring to the first woman, who, driven by an insatiable curiosity, famously opened a forbidden jar, often mislabeled as Pandora's box, inadvertently releasing every conceivable evil into the world. The only thing that remained inside was hope. This powerful story has deeply embedded itself in modern culture. However, we must critically ask ourselves, why would a brand dedicated to adornment choose to name itself after a myth involving the unleashing of curses upon humanity? Even more concerning is how Pandora's charms often function as modern-day talismans or amulets. Zodiac signs, the elusive third eye, Hamsa hands, the protective evil eye, delicate dream catchers, and various sun worship motifs. These are not simply artistic or aesthetic designs. They are, in their essence, spiritual declarations, each intricately rooted in ancient occult or pagan belief systems. You might sincerely think, but I only wear a simple heart charm or one with a crown. Yet, we must probe deeper. The crown of whom? The heart of what? When we consciously or unconsciously adorn ourselves with these charms, we become part of a spiritual narrative not authored by the divine hand. We may not bow before these symbols, but we wear them close to our hearts. And what we choose to carry on our bodies frequently mirrors what we allow to resonate within our very souls. The unseen forces of darkness delight in subtlety. They understand that a person might openly reject a clearly negative symbol, but might unknowingly wear a zodiac charm without a second thought. Yet ancient wisdom explicitly warns us, rebuking those who turn to astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators for guidance, implying that such reliance leads away from true divine provision. To wear symbols connected to astrology is not a neutral act. It signifies alignment with practices that have been clearly cautioned against. You and I are considered sacred vessels. Let us not decorate these vessels with symbols that contradict the divine presence residing within. Chrome hearts. Now, let us venture into an even more complex territory. Chrome hearts. This high-end luxury brand has undeniably become a fixture in pop culture and celebrity fashion, frequently seen adorning musicians, actors, and influential figures with vast followings. The essential question we must collectively ponder is, what exactly are these individuals wearing, and what spiritual messages are they, perhaps inadvertently, glorifying? Chrome hearts is distinctive for its bold fusion of Gothic aesthetics with religious symbolism, most notably the cross. However, the cross within their designs is significantly distant from the sacred image of redemption and resurrection that holds such profound meaning for many. Instead, it is rendered in a sharp, aggressive, almost menacing style. It evokes not the profound hope of a resurrected spirit, but rather an aesthetic of suffering, rebellion, and darkness. This visual choice is not coincidental. The fashion world throughout history has often toyed with religious symbolism, sometimes to mock, distort, or drain it of its deeper spiritual significance. Within the Chrome Hearts universe, the cross is often reduced to a mere fashion statement, an empty form. Even more concerning, it is frequently accompanied by other symbols deeply rooted in occult or anti-Christian ideologies: skulls, bones, Gothic script, grimacing faces, daggers, all presented with an aura of prestige and defiance. There is a profound underlying issue here, my friend. It extends beyond just fashion trends. It touches upon what we collectively normalize. When symbols of death are embraced as cool or cutting edge, we allow darker energies to become aesthetically pleasing. And when the holy symbol of the cross is stripped of its empowering resurrection meaning and instead cloaked in expressions of death, pain, and vanity, it no longer points towards true salvation. It becomes a poignant parody. Ancient texts speak to this precise dilemma, warning of those who are enemies of the cross. Chrome Hearts, rather than honoring the cross, commercializes it, taking what is profoundly sacred and marketing it as edgy and rebellious. A wise observer once reflected that the greatest cunning of deception is not to make people hate what is good, but to make them mock it. Chrome Hearts often veils itself in irony, rebellion, and a particular kind of twisted glamour, but true rebellion against divine principles can never be truly fashionable. I ask you, right here and now, what do we truly wish for our outward adornment to declare? Do we want our necklaces to echo the redemptive cross of salvation, or a distorted cross of nihilistic defiance? Do not be swayed. The jewelry you choose to wear serves as a silent testament to your deepest allegiances. Vivienne Westwood. Vivienne Westwood is celebrated within fashion circles as a true revolutionary, a trendsetter, and a provocative force. However, through the lens of spiritual discernment, she represents something far more unsettling, a profound mocker of the sacred. You have likely encountered her jewelry, bold, unconventional, undeniably striking. But upon closer inspection, a different truth emerges. Many of her designs conspicuously incorporate inverted crosses, mocking crucifixes, and other symbols that deliberately blend traditional religious imagery with elements of chaos, rebellion, and even overtly satanic motifs. Her influential fashion shows have consistently featured anti-Christian themes, including irreverent reinterpretations of sacred garments and openly blasphemous artistic displays. This is not by chance. Vivienne Westwood herself frequently spoke against what she perceived as the constraints of traditional morality, consciously positioning her art as a powerful rebellion against established religion, particularly Christianity. The incorporation of crosses in her jewelry is never to honor the crucified divine. Rather, it is intended to challenge and twist that sacred image into a statement of defiance. We must take this matter seriously. The inverted cross specifically has a documented history of being adopted by certain practitioners not as a symbol of humble reverence, as in the traditional story of Peter's crucifixion, but as a deliberate inversion of divine victory, a pointed mockery of foundational spiritual teachings. Scripture itself contains a clear warning about the nature of deception. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked, for whatever one sows, that will he also reap. To wear jewelry that mocks or desecrates a profound spiritual truth, even if unknowingly, implicates us in that very act of mockery. You see, true darkness doesn't always manifest with overt, monstrous imagery. Sometimes it arrives clothed in exquisite elegance, showcased under the dazzling lights of a fashion runway, presented as high art. Vivienne Westwood's designs may appear artistic, perhaps even empowering. But when that perceived power stands in opposition to divine truth, it is no true power at all. It is instead a path to spiritual disarray. If you encounter a cross on a piece of jewelry, I urge you to ask yourself, is this the cross of profound sacrifice and hope, or the cross of confusion and defiance? Allow your inner guidance to lead your discernment. As seekers of truth, we must never glamorize that which fundamentally degrades what is holy. To wear such jewelry is not a mere fashion choice. It is, on a deeper level, a spiritual compromise. Kendra Scott? Now we arrive at a brand that I believe presents the most subtle and therefore potentially the most dangerous form of spiritual deception. It doesn't loudly proclaim darkness. Instead, it gently whispers it. Kendra Scott jewelry is widely considered beautiful, elegant, and outwardly harmless. It's frequently seen in various circles, adorned by women of deep faith, often given as cherished gifts for significant life events. Yet at the very core of this brand lies something spiritually toxic, a deep-seated belief system centered on crystal healing, energy transfer, and gemstone mysticism. The brand's foundational premise is that certain stones inherently possess spiritual energy, that they can heal, bring calm, empower, or even attract prosperity. This is far more than clever marketing. It is the essence of a modern form of idolatry. To believe that inanimate objects, be they stones, crystals, or minerals, carry independent spiritual power is a direct contradiction of a divine understanding where all power originates from a single, ultimate source. Ancient scriptures speak with clarity on this, challenging the notion that all who fashion idols are nothing and the things they delight in do not profit. Who fashions a god or casts an idol that is profitable for nothing. To sincerely believe that a specific stone can truly heal your soul or direct your destiny is to place your trust in created things rather than in the divine creator. This, my friends, is idolatry. This is a subtle form of engaging with practices that seek power outside of its ultimate source. A renowned philosopher once reminded us that there is no truly neutral ground in the universe. Every single space, every moment, is either claimed by divine presence or subtly contested. The crystals embedded in Kendra Scott's bracelets and necklaces may appear perfectly innocent, but the belief system upon which they are founded is anything but. It is constructed upon the seductive lie that authentic power can be found independently from divine wisdom. What makes Kendra Scott particularly deceptive is how soft and unassuming the illusion feels. There are no skulls, no inverted crosses, no overtly dark symbols, only soothing colors, graceful designs, and gentle words like balance, energy, and healing. But these words are not empty. They carry a profound worldview, one that gently steers people to depend on objects rather than on the true divine. This isn't mere superstition, it's a subtle spiritual redirection. It's the whisper of the lower self saying, you can have both. But deeper wisdom consistently reminds us that no one can serve two masters. You cannot truly embrace a crystal for healing purposes while simultaneously affirming that all healing comes from a singular divine source. One belief inherently diminishes the other. So I sincerely implore you, my dear friend, be exquisitely vigilant. Ask yourself, what true spirit is at the foundation of this brand? What specific belief system does it truly promote? What kind of energy am I, perhaps unknowingly, inviting into my life when I choose to wear it? Pure spiritual presence will never share its sacred space with another perceived power. You have now heard the names Alex and Annie, Pandora, Chrome Hearts, Vivienne Westwood, and Kendra Scott. Understand deeply, these are not just arbitrary jewelry brands. They are, in their own unique ways, doorways. Some are overtly wide open, openly flaunting their rebellion against traditional sanctity. Others are far more discreet, artfully cloaking subtle deception in exquisite elegance. But all five, in their distinct methods, lead the heart down a path that incrementally moves it away from its divine source and towards something else, something darker, something counterfeit. And this, my dear friend, is where unwavering truth must pierce through the superficial glitter. You and I are not merely consumers. We are walking vessels of a profound living spirit. Every item we wear, every symbol we choose to carry, holds the inherent potential to proclaim either the genuine truth of a higher wisdom or the deceptive, manufactured messages of lesser influences. Jewelry, in its essence, is never truly neutral. Just like the words we speak, the music we listen to, or the images we see, it profoundly shapes the energetic atmosphere around us. It is either declaring its allegiance to a higher order or, without our conscious realization, inviting dissonant energies into our lives. You might be thinking, but it's just a charm bracelet, or it's only a necklace. Understand this, nothing is ever truly just when we are discussing matters of spiritual integrity. Remember, the serpent in ancient tales didn't scream a warning, it whispered. The legendary golden idol didn't look inherently evil, it looked magnificent and captivating. True spiritual misguidance is rarely overtly obvious. It prefers to appear beautiful, completely harmless, and even profoundly empowering. As one insightful mind observed, there are two equal and opposite errors into which our race can fall about the devils. One is to disbelieve in their existence. The other is to believe and to feel an excessive and unhealthy interest in them. What we are called to cultivate instead is profound awareness and quiet authority. Awareness to clearly identify what is spiritually unaligned, and the inherent authority we possess to respectfully reject it. Let me now speak directly to your heart. Perhaps as you watch this, you are realizing you own items from some of these brands. Perhaps they were heartfelt gifts, or you wore them with absolutely no understanding of their deeper symbolism. Let me be unequivocally clear. This message is not intended to evoke shame. This is a profound call to spiritual awakening. You do not need to feel fear, but you absolutely need to choose to walk in truth. And the truth, profound and liberating, is this: the divine seeks to purify and illuminate every facet of your life. Not just the visible missteps, but even the subtle compromises, your personal space, your treasured adornments, your daily choices, and most importantly, your heart. Ancient wisdom provides a powerful example. When people chose to abandon practices that were not in alignment with truth, they gathered what tied them to those old ways, like scrolls of knowledge they no longer wished to follow, and publicly released them, understanding the immense value in doing so. These individuals didn't merely express remorse. They intentionally removed every spiritual access point that might have held them back. You may not possess ancient scrolls of forbidden knowledge, but perhaps you have a charm bracelet adorned with symbols of mixed origin, a necklace you believe protects you with inert energy, or a ring whose design is rooted in ancient fragmented beliefs. I earnestly encourage you to embrace a similar spirit of purification. Consciously gather these items and with clear intention release them. Bathe your personal space in clarity and consciously sever any unseen agreements that might have been unknowingly formed. Then, fill that newly cleared space with that which is truly holy. Replace subtle deception with illuminating truth. Exchange crystals imbued with human-assigned power for symbols that glorify higher truths and the promise of renewal. Replace confusion with pristine clarity. Understand that this discussion is not solely about 5 specific jewelry brands. It is about the profound discernment that resides within each of us. The world indeed is filled with captivating illusions, and many of them are beautifully packaged. That which seeks to mislead is not threatened by superficial activity. It is truly unsettled by a conscious individual who sees with unwavering clarity. So I ask you now, with profound sincerity, are you seeing clearly? Let this message not merely shift your purchasing habits. Let it deeply transform your spiritual sensitivity. Begin now to consciously invite your inner guidance to illuminate the hidden meanings, the profound spiritual weight, the subtle messages that often lie beneath the surface of the items you choose to own and wear. Start asking fundamental questions. What deeper spirit is truly animating this symbol? Does this object authentically glorify the divine, or does it merely glorify fleeting appearances? What message am I truly projecting to the universe by adorning myself with this? Does this brand's essence resonate with pure truth, or does it subtly challenge it? This is the very essence of walking in wholeness, not merely adhering to outward morality, but living in a state of intentional alignment and set-apartness. It's not just about avoiding what is overtly harmful, but consciously refusing to participate in anything that seeks to replace or reimagine the unique glory of pure truth. I recognize that this message might feel significant. I understand it may prompt deep self-reflection. But I believe, with every fiber of my being, that if you are watching this now, it is because a deeper part of you is actively listening. It is not about condemnation. It is about being called to a higher state of awareness. It is not about judgment. It is about an invitation to deeper wisdom. The divine seeks to purify your entire life, not to diminish your authentic beauty, but to replace anything counterfeit with true, radiant, divine beauty. Forces of distraction may wish to see you adorned with distractions, but a higher truth desires to see you clothed in true glory. Lesser influences may seek to tie your spirit to material objects and stones, but you have been given something infinitely greater: profound inner wisdom, divine inspiration, and a deeper connection to an ultimate source. Ultimately, What we choose to wear is never merely an accessory. It is, in its profoundest sense, a testimony. And I pray that your testimony will always be clear, brilliantly radiant, and utterly uncompromised. Let your adornment speak of truth, not illusion. Let your chosen symbols powerfully reflect your identity as a spiritual being, not merely a product of fleeting culture. Let everything you embody and wear loudly and proudly proclaim that truth is your guiding light. The night is swiftly passing and the dawn is upon us. Therefore, let us consciously shed the trappings of less conscious ways and clothe ourselves in the armor of illuminating wisdom. Go forth now, with unwavering courage, examine your adornment, purify your personal space, and walk fully in the radiant light of consciousness, shining with a beauty that only true alignment can bestow.